In this installment, we're going to be going over the 4-game slate for NBA on Monday, February 26th. This is your best bets video. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Chef D, and I'm here to give you the winning ingredients for our 4-game NBA slate on February 26th. But before I deep dive into that, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and Twitter at MetsNetJetsD. Don't forget about that TikTok at Chef_D91. And don't forget about that Patreon. Currently, we're at the home of the YouTube page. Right now, we are at 1.53 thousand subscribers. Let's continue to grow that number. We're doing decent on the NBA bets videos. Obviously, we took a hiatus of 2 weeks. We came back with the first one, didn't get that many views. Then we almost tripled it in the next video. Let's continue to grow these numbers. It's gonna happen with me continually come out with these bets videos. Is going to grow and grow and grow because I'm trying to get more into the betting scene and show you guys the bet side. And then obviously, so you guys get the futures in the Patreon. And since there's no NFL right now, we're going to be focused on betting, and we're going to be getting ready for the NFL draft. And then we'll ramp back up for DFS and best ball. All right. So get everything covered for the next future here, guys. For the Patreon, we had the UFC picks. We absolutely dominated that. We only lost on one. Brandon Moreno was the only one that did not come through. Muhammad Namaev came through. Yasmin came through. Edgar Chairez came through. Faraziem came through. Daniel Zellhuber came through. Rahul Rosas was canceled because of sickness. We even got the big underdog in Brian Ortega. He came through, and Felipe Dos Santos. We smashed UFC. We went 2 out of 3 with the NBA, with the Magic and the Timberwolves, and we went 1 out of 2 with the props here, with Kristaps Porzingis going over 20 points. Franz Wagner wasn't able to make it, but we smashed that slate. So if you want winning picks, okay, sign up for that Patreon. That link is provided for you down below. Not to mention future bets are going to be in there as well. So get connected. The first game we got going on will be the Atlantic Division going up against the Central Toronto Raptors, 21-36 currently, going up against the Indiana Pacers, who are 33-25. We have a line at minus 250 for the Pacers, plus 195 for the Raptors on the money line. The point spread both ways is 5.5. And the total is pretty high at 246 points, 246.5 to be exact. Majority of the money, 80% of bets and money on Pacers, around half the money, 50 and 61% on the Pacers to cover the spread, and it's down the middle on the total. This is a tough one to choose with the total. But this is a Pacer game, high pace, a lot of points. You have Raptors who are healthy. They're going to get RG Barrett back. So you could understand why that total is that high if we're going into some of the previous matchups. Look at this, 263 points. We had another game over plus 250 in this one. So you understand why that total's at 246. That's at a pretty perfect number at 246. I would lean towards the over in this particular matchup here. Some of the ATS numbers, we have the Raptors ATS against the spread away, they're 13-14. The Raptors as dogs are 16-18, so both under 500. Pacers, this is the second game of a back-to-back here. They just beat the Dallas Mavericks, and the Pacers at home are 15-12. And as favorites, they are pretty much even, 13-13. I would get this number as early as possible. Keep it at this 5.5. I like the Pacers to win, definitely. But if you want to get a better number, that 5.5, you could lean towards the Pacers covering in this matchup. Let's move on to the next. Next game, we have the Detroit Pistons, who are 8-48 currently, going up against the New York Knicks here, who are 34-23. The line, if you're looking at, you got the Knicks at -600 if you want the money line. If you think the Pistons have it enough to get it done, you can get them on the money line at +425. The point spread both ways is at 11.5. And the total is at 223.5 for the over and under. Majority of the bets are on, this is crazy. So 94% of the bets are on the Knicks to win. And then you have 87% of the money on the, see teams, people are trying to get a big payout here so far early. So that's why you see majority percentage of the money on the Detroit Pistons. If they're making parlays or hey, taking one shot, then they're trying to cash out on this +425 here. The point spread is at 11.5. This is down the middle. Do you believe in this team here to cover that spread? And then you have the total here at 223.5. Majority of the money, over 70%, is coming in on that over. So looking at the previous matchup, we had 118 and 112. The Detroit Pistons covered that spread last time, okay? Obviously, Pistons are on a big losing streak. This is the second game out of 3 matchups, and they are on the road. Cade Cunningham is back for the Detroit Pistons, and that's going to bode well for them. I'm going to be leaning, obviously, I think the Knicks are going to win this game, but the best number here, I'm going to go and grab that 11.5. If we're looking at against the spread numbers, the Pistons as dogs are 25-24, and the Pistons away are 14-14, so a 500 team. And then the Knicks at home are 15-11, and as favorites they are 21-11. So they tend to cover the spread as favorites. This is not the same Knicks team. I'm waiting for Julius Randle to come back, OG Anunoby to come back. When you get that full squad, then I have full confidence in them. But I can see a backdoor cover coming from the Detroit Pistons. Maybe you could say this is a revenge game for Bogdanovich, who's on the Knicks, and Alec Burks. So maybe at the end, it could go either way. But I'm going to lean towards the Pistons to end their against the spread streak at 3 losses and cover this 11.5 here. Let's go on to the next game. We have an East versus West matchup here. Brooklyn Nets, 21-35, going up against the Memphis Grizzlies, who are 20-37. We have the line currently pretty much even, -115 for the Nets, -105 for the Memphis Grizzlies. The point spread is at a -1.5. And you have the total at 214 points. And people are split down the middle here. 44% of the bets, well, 56%, and then 56% of the bets are on the Nets, 36% of the money are on the Nets. People are flip-flopping on this particular game. This is 2 ugly teams. The point spread is kind of split down the middle with 64% of the money on the Memphis Grizzlies as home dogs and 59% of the money on Memphis Grizzlies. And then the over-under is at 76%. At 214.5 on that over in this game here for the Brooklyn Nets going up against the Memphis Grizzlies. This is their first time meeting this year. And we're going to go with the best player on the court, okay? Obviously, John Moran is gone, so the best player on the court to me is Mikal Bridges. This is a game where Mikal Bridges is going to need to step up, knock down the 3-point ball, and really get things going for the Brooklyn Nets and put away the very young and scrappy Memphis Grizzlies. If we're looking at the against the spread numbers, away the Nets are 9-16, but as favorites, the Nets are 10-7. That's a positive sign to see right there. Grizzlies at home are 11-16 against the spread. As dogs, the Memphis Grizzlies are 22-20, so they're over 500 as dogs, under 500 at home, and we're going to be going with the Brooklyn Nets on the money line. Obviously, we'll be taking that spread. It's only 1.5, and then the over-under at 214. I'm going to lean towards the over. Okay, this is going to be a 3-point shooting fest for me for the Brooklyn Nets. Last but not least, another matchup between the East versus West Miami Heat, who are currently 31-25, going up against the Sacramento Kings, who are 32-23. The line right now, you can get the Kings at -300 on the money line. You can get the Miami Heat on the money line at +240. We have the point spread at 7.5 on both sides, and the over-under is at 226. If we're looking at the bets and the money, 90% of the bets and pretty much over 80% of the money is on the Sacramento Kings. Very shocking. 68% of the bets are on the Miami Heat to cover the 7.5. And then it's pretty much split down the middle of percentage of money who is going to cover the spread for the Kings and the Heat at the 7.5 number. Majority of the bets are on the over of 226.5. Okay. Now, the key component here in this game is going to be Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler is suspended for this game. Tomas Bryant is suspended for this game. And Nikola Jovic is suspended for this game. So they're going to be missing their leader, but this is the Miami Heat team that's very, very scrappy and tough. They do not need Jimmy Butler to win a regular season game. We've seen it time in and time out. They even won that Pelican game in that fourth quarter when they were down and came back and won without Jimmy Butler. This is a very tough team. You got Tyler Hero, you got Bam Adebayo, you got a ton of guys that have experience, okay? So, the best number here is this point spread. Love the +7.5 on the Miami Heat because you have the Kings on the second game of a back-to-back. They're facing the Clippers today, and then they got to go back home, travel, and get ready for the Miami Heat team, which they might think they're going to take a little bit less of because there is no Jimmy Butler, and that's going to be a disadvantage there. That for that over of 226, I'm going to be taking the under. The first matchup went around 221 points. I don't expect that many points to be scored here, especially without the leader in Jimmy Butler. So we're going to be going with the point spread at +7.5. We're going to be going with the under at 226. And this is the best game here for your best value underdog on the slate. I like Miami Heat. If you're willing to take the risk, go with the money line there, all right? So thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. If you want my final plays for every slate, if you want the future bets as well, go up and sign for that Patreon link that is provided down below. Get connected. Do not miss out on these winning plays, all right? Thank you guys for tuning in. I'll be back very soon. Peace out.